In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw complicated graphs. So for example, if you have something like y equals 1 over x plus x. So how would you go about drawing this graph here? So we'll start by looking at this component here and this component here. So when you look at this graph only, 1 over x, it will look something like this. It will look something like this. Hang on. Oh, hang on. Something like this, okay? And hang on. And the reason why it goes downwards here like this is because if you look at this term only 1 over x. Now if you select x to be really big, so if you put a really big number into the x, 1 over, let's say 9999, this overall thing here would be 0.0000 something. So that's why the y value here around here is really low, and it's never going to reach 0 because you've got a 1 here. 1 divided by whatever big number this denominator would be. It doesn't matter. The overall answer would be a positive. It would never reach 0. And then if the reason why this graph here goes really high up is because if you select x to be near 0, let's say if you put 0.00001 in here, this overall number here, 1 over 0.00001, then the overall number here will be really big. That's why it goes up. Okay, and the reason why it's like this on the negative side is because whether you are looking at this here, it's because if you select a negative x over here, let's say here the value of x here will be negative, let's say negative 999. Well, if you put 1 over a negative 999 here, well, what would this be? Well, this here would be a really well. Let's move the minus 1 up here. Okay, right there, and then here when it's on the top, we can actually take the minus out here. So the answer, so this value here would be minus. Well, it would be negative 1 over 999. Now 1 over 999, whatever. This thing here would be really small, and it's a negative small. That's why it's a small y here, but it's on the negative. It's on the negative side of the y. So this is the positive side of the y. This is a negative. That's why it's negative down here. Now, if you select if you select x to be really near 0, if you select x to be near 0, let's say 0.0001, but it's on the left hand side, so you've got to stick this negative in. Now, if you look at this, minus 0.0000, let's say 1 here. You can move the minus up here, and when it's on the top, you can actually take it out. So in effect, work out this thing first. So here, this overall thing here would be, well, 1 divided by a really small number, it would be really big. So the overall answer would be a really big y. So this number here is really big, and it's a negatively big. So that's why the reason. That's why it's so far down here. That's why it goes like that. Well, anyway, I've explained all this before in one of the early videos. So if you're trying to sketch this line here, 1 over this plus x here. Now, this term here will give you a graph looking like this. And this term here will give you a graph looking like this. Oh, going through the origin. Hang on. Okay, so when you're trying to sketch this line here, you hang on. You want to know what happens when x is small. So for example, look at this here. Let's just concentrate on what happens when x is small. Okay, you've got a choice of 1 over x plus x. Now, which term would dominate when x is small? So let's choose x to be really small. Let's say around here. Let's say 0.6. Okay. No, hang on. Let's say 0.009. Say. Okay. So when x here equals 0.009, a really small number, which term will dominate? Will this dominate or will this dominate? Okay, so let's put this into this x here. Remember, we are drawing a graph of y equals 1 over x plus x. Now, what will be the y value when x is 0.009? Now, if you put 0.009 into here, it will be 1 over 0.009 plus 0.009. Okay, this bit here will be, hang on, let me get a calculator. 1 divided by, hang on, let me change this, standard. Okay, 1 divided by 0.009 equals, let's just say roughly 111. And this term here stays the same. Okay, 0.009. You see, this number here is really small in comparison to 111. So when x is small, this term dominates, because look, why bother looking at this number here when you can just look at this number here? Because 111 is much bigger than this bit here. So you can really forget about the x term when x is small, because this here, the 111 is much bigger and more significant than this useless information here. So when x is small, this term will dominate. Okay, so you know when x is small, it's going to behave like 1 over x. So it's going to be something like this. Okay, when x is small. Now let's choose when x is negatively small. Okay, so let's choose minus. So we are looking at this value here when x is around here. Okay, so we are looking at 0.000, let's say 0.009, but on the negative side. Now, if you put this into here, okay, and then hang on, so let me actually do it then. So let's put minus 0.009 into this thing here. So it will be 1 over negative 0.009 plus remember, this is a negative number, minus 0.009. Okay, now we can actually take this out here. So hang on, take the minus out here, so it will look like this. It's just neater. Now you see this number here, when you get 1 divided by 0.009, it's going to be a big number. But by the way, this negative, I can take it up here. I can take it up here and then take it out here. So hang on. So it will look something like this. Okay, so it's actually this negative this bubble here. Now, what is 1 over 0.009? So that will be, hang on, clear this, 1 divided by 0.009 equals. You see, equals a really big number, 111. So this will be minus 111 minus 0.009. Again, this number is so much bigger than this number. So when x is small, it's going to be negatively big. The overall answer would be negative 100 and it's going to be this, but I'm just going to really ignore this. I'm just going to look at this only, 111. So when x is small, it's going to look something like this. It's going to look something like this. Okay, so hang on, let me clear this up. We are trying to plot this, y equals 1 over x plus x. And when the thing is, when x is small, this term here dominates. Okay, so the graph will look something like this. Okay, well, it goes down. Hang on. Let me clear this up. It will look something like this. Okay, and when it's on the negative side, it's going to look something like this. Okay, because this graph will look something like this. Okay, but we are just looking at when x is small, just around this region here, because we're just trying to investigate this. So now when x is big, look what happens when x is big. Let's let's choose x to be somewhere over here and over here. Let's choose x to be 999. So now if you put 999 into here, well, put it into here, it will be 1 over 999 plus 999. Now this term here will be really small, and this term here will be really big. So this term here is pretty, well, hang on, let's get 1 divided by 999. Well, clear this. 1 divided by 999. It equals 0.001 plus 999. You see, when x is big, this thing here, this term here is useless in comparison to this. It's so small. Look, 0.001 is so small in comparison to 999. So what I'm trying to say is that when x is big, it wants to follow this. When x is small, it wants to follow this. So when x is big, you can imagine it to be something like this. Okay, it wants to follow a straight line. Hang on, it wants to follow a straight line like this. But we are not looking at when x is in the middle. We are looking at when x is big. So when x is big, it wants to follow this line. When x is small, it wants to follow this line. So hang on, let me start again. So y equals 1 over x plus x. So hang on, so your graph will look something like this. When x is small, this term will dominate. So it will look something like this. Okay, and again on the negative side, x is still small, so that term still dominates. Okay, and now when x is big, this will dominate. So when x is big, you know it wants to follow a straight line through the origin like this. Okay, now in the middle, you just got to guess. So now it's just join these up there. It will look something like this. Okay, so if you were to draw this line, it will look something like this. And so if I were to draw this line from the start, this is what I would be thinking. When x is small, this term would dominate. So it's going to look something like this. Okay, and when x is big, this term is going to dominate. So it's going to be a straight line going through the origin. Something like that. Now you just got to join up the two. So it's just guesswork now in between. So your graph will look like this. And when you go on the internet and search for a graph plotter, it actually turns out to be like this. So this is your graph of y equals 1 over x plus x. Because here, when x is big, it wants to follow a straight line through the origin. Okay. When x is small, it wants to follow this term here. So normally this 1 over x will look something like this. But the thing is, when it comes to this stage around here somewhere, this term dominates. So it starts to adopt this personality here. So it wants to be a straight line. But when x is small, it wants to be this term here. So overall, it will look something like this. Okay. In the next video, I will give you more examples. Okay.